It was a bitterly cold night in 2018, and I had just moved into an old weathered house deep in the countryside, the kind of place where the nearest neighbor was miles away, and the nights were so quiet you could hear your own heartbeat. The house had a reputation in the village. People said it was haunted, but I didn't believe in ghosts. I thought it was just another old wives' tale meant to scare off city folk like me. The first few nights were uneventful. The house was drafty, and the floors creaked with every step, but nothing out of the ordinary. Then on the fifth night, things started to change. I was in the living room, reading by the dim light of a single lamp. The wind howled outside, rattling the windows, but I paid it no mind. I was lost in my book when I heard it, a faint, scratching noise coming from the ceiling above me. I paused, listening, but the sound stopped as suddenly as it had started. I shrugged it off as a rat or some other small creature. But then the scratching started again, louder this time, like nails being dragged across wood. I stood up, my heart beginning to race. The sound moved, traveling from the ceiling to the walls, circling the room. I could hear it right behind the wallpaper, scratching, clawing, trying to get out. Panic began to set in, but I forced myself to stay calm. I grabbed a broom and banged it against the wall, shouting, "Get out! Get out of here!" The noise stopped and the house fell into an eerie silence. I took a deep breath, thinking it was over. But then, the lights flickered and the temperature in the room plummeted. I could see my breath in the air, hanging like a mist. And then I smelled it, a rancid odor like rotting meat. The stench was overwhelming, making my stomach turn. I gagged, covering my nose, but it didn't help. The smell seemed to seep into my skin, clinging to me. I stumbled back, my eyes watering, and that's when I saw it. In the corner of the room where the shadows were deepest, something was moving. At first, it was just a shape, a dark mass that seemed to be growing, stretching toward me. But as it came closer, I saw it was a figure, tall and twisted with long, gnarled limbs and eyes that glowed like embers in the darkness. It moved with unnatural speed, closing the distance between us in seconds. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. I was paralyzed with fear, unable to move as it reached out with one bony hand, its fingers ending in sharp black claws. The creature's face was inches from mine now, its breath hot and putrid against my skin. It grinned, revealing rows of jagged teeth, and whispered in a voice that was both a hiss and a growl. "You shouldn't have come here." The room spun, and I felt myself being pulled into the darkness, into the creature's cold, unforgiving embrace. I fought to stay conscious, but it was like being drowned in ink, suffocating and cold. The last thing I remember before everything went black was the sound of my own heartbeat pounding in my ears. I woke up the next morning on the floor, the room filled with sunlight. The creature was gone, but the smell lingered, faint but still there. My body ached, and when I looked in the mirror, I saw deep red scratches down my arms and neck, like I had been clawed by something. I didn't stay in that house another night. I packed my things and left, not caring where I went as long as it was far away from that place. I never found out what that creature was or why it had chosen me. But I know one thing for sure. I'll never forget those glowing eyes or the feeling of pure, unrelenting terror that came with them. To this day, I still feel like it's watching me, waiting in the shadows for the right moment to strike again. And I'm afraid that next time, I won't be able to escape.